Reggie.
Hello.
And where are we today?
Today we're at Russell Street. That is 225 Russell Street. It's a transitional shelter. Welcome aboard.
Okay, thank you. How many people are you've got here?
Currently we got about 20 people. We're going through transition. We have people moving into supportive housing. We have people going into some of our other hotel sites as well. And people going into like market rent. It's been great being here. And that sense of community that people have built here has been very important for the success of Russell Street.
What do you think some of the biggest lessons were learned in the 2 years that this has been operating?
I would say the biggest lesson is the need of such services. Services that can create a sense of stability for people, because this is the first place that people go to after like overnight shelters or after being on the street for years or months. So it's that sense of, creating a sense of community, inclusion, and being comfortable at this stage and where they're at. From being out on the street where there was no coffee, now there's coffee. Where there's no shelter, now there's shelter. Where there's no bed, now there's a bed. And it just provides people that platform to start building life skills with our workers here. Yeah.
So most of your residents who have come in here have come right off of living on the streets. This is kind of the first home they've had in a while.
Yeah, for most of them. Some of them have been through systems with other organizations as well. But we are open to everyone, and that's part of our values that we have here at OPS. We are open to all walks of life. So yeah, for the most part.
But everybody who's here now, as the closure comes up at the end of March, everybody here will be moving into more permanent supported housing. Yes,
and that's the eventual goal, right? At this stage, it's transition to go into supportive housing. After supportive housing, if everything goes well, the next stage is market rent.
Right. You're going to show us one of the units?
Yeah, let's go. So we divided the shelter into like 3 sections. For the most part, this front section, because we're closer to the office, is mainly for people with high needs and people that we may need to just keep an eye on. And then people in the second and third row, these are people that are like, moderate needs. And then people at the last row at the back of the shelter, those are mainly people that, we don't have to always keep an eye on them, and they're pretty self-sufficient. So I'm going to show you one of the empty pods. And this is pretty much what a pod looks like. You got your side table, you got your bed, you got a pillow. And most of the time people accessorize it however they want to do so, like maybe putting like pictures at the side and stuff like that, or different sort of blanket, different sort of pillow to just personalize it. But yeah, this is what they get for the time being that they're in here.
And so what type of services do you offer here for people that come in?
All sorts of services. We're lucky to have peers on site as well. So what they do is they also closely work with our residents. They also have a peers program where residents can be a part of the team. And, in terms of like, let's say there's like an overdose or any sort of crisis that happens over the night, one of the peers resident workers can just be there and just help out in the overdose with naloxone or that companion that's not there, let's say if staff's not available, even if it's off-site as well. What we provide as OPS is, we provide food, we provide links to other services. That could be like with ACT, that could be with Surf Team, that could be with VHA, other VHA teams as well. So pretty much we're like that bridge that connects you to other services that you might require based off on, what your needs could be, whether you're suffering from addiction or maybe it's mainly, mental health issues that is more of a problem. Then we'll connect you to those services. But also a listening ear, sometimes as simple as that. And that's a service that we provide. That sense of belonging as well. And that also touches on our values here at OPS.
And how many meals do you serve to the residents here?
We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day of the week from Monday to Sunday. Sometimes people do go to other services, like down at the drop-in, to also go have breakfast and lunch and dinner, but still be connected to that sense of community that OPS has created. So this is our laundry facility. We also have a charging station.
Yeah, I think laundry's a big thing because when people are on the street, it's definitely a difficult thing to access.
Yes, it is.
When you're in survival mode.
It is, and it's one of those things that most of us take for granted, but it's a basic necessity, just as being in a place to sleep is a basic necessity, just as having warm food in your belly is a basic necessity. So it's quite humbling in our position to just offer such services that most of us take for granted, and I think that's the beauty of the job that we do. So we have 6 washrooms and showers. So here's a washroom. There is a social area, more like a courtyard, where people just come out to hang out. Sometimes people come out to read a book, smoke, talk with friends. Sometimes we also come outside to play soccer or basketball with the residents. It depends. And then we also have barbecues outside here during the summer. We also have our inhalation tent over there where people can use. That area over there is the medical room. That's where, if nurses come and people need to see a nurse and there's that sense of privacy, they can use that space.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge in this space?
I wouldn't per se there is a challenge in the space per se, but I would say the biggest challenge in this line of work is insufficient services. I feel like this population, they need more services, whether that be especially in the mental health aspect. And then also we're also seeing an increase of older folks on the street, and there are no spaces available for them. People that are past retirement, but they have nowhere to go and are being found in the shelter. So I would say that for me has been the most difficult aspect of this line of work. As for the space here being problematic, I would say not, because the way it's structured to be quite communal, and henceforth you have quite strong relationships in the shelter that are created.
And what's the thing that's given you the greatest joy?
I would say what has given me the greatest joy is just helping, as simple as that. Helping those that need that help, and it gives you that sense of fulfillment, and just the little things. It's not even the big things. Yes, housing is incredible, having to help someone go into a stable unit and all that stuff, but it's just meeting them where they're at, and also hearing the stories of where people have come from and how there's so many brilliant minds on the streets.